In the vast expanse of the Andromeda cluster, where countless civilizations vied for dominance there,
lay a distant and unassuming solar system, a blue planet.
Nestled within its third orbital lane, teemed with life, resilient and unyielding, it was a world unlike any other world the galaxy would soon come to know as Earth, a place that
defied logic and stirred the deepest fears in alien hearts.
Across the centuries, the intergalactic concordium of unity had spread peace and diplomacy to the far reaches of the cosmos, uniting countless species under a single banner of coexistence. War
was deemed barbaric, a relic of primitive eras, and so weapons were abandoned battlefields.
Lay silent and conflict gave way to negotiation. This peace was sacred, a fragile
tapestry woven by the hands of wisdom and patience.
But not all shared this philosophy. The Zelan Dominion, an ancient and ruthless empire, saw peace as weakness. Its warships
cast shadows over countless worlds. Their soldiers
marched on the bones of the defeated, a plague of conquest sweeping through the galaxy, and now they turned their eyes towards Sol, to the blue-green world that defied every rule.
The High Commander of the Zelan fleet, a towering creature clad in obsidian armor,
sat aboard the flagship Horatius, his 3 eyes glimmering with malice. His advisors
gathered before him, their pale scaled bodies trembling under his gaze. Report, he growled, his voice echoing in the cold metallic chamber.
The advisor hesitated before speaking, his voice a whisper against the commander's thunder. The humans
are unlike any species we have encountered. They show no regard for the galactic accords. They possess no energy shields, no interstellar defenses. Their technology is primitive, yet their spirit is unyielding.
The High Commander sneered, his mandibles clicking in disdain.
What could such creatures possibly offer us? He scoffed. Are they fools?
Do they not fear the might of the Zelan Dominion?
It is not fear, my lord, the advisor replied. It is something else. Something we do not understand. They call it resolve.
On Earth, the skies had darkened. The people of the world stood united not by a single leader or creed,
but by an unspoken bond, a determination to protect. What was theirs? Their cities burst with preparation, factories churned out weapons, soldiers
trained with unrelenting focus, and civilians turned their hands to the effort of survival.
For humanity, war was not a relic, it was a constant companion, an unwelcome shadow that had shaped their history and their nature. They did not seek it, they did not revel in it, but when war came knocking, humanity
answered with fire in their hearts and steel in their hands.
The Zelan fleet descended like a storm, their ships
gleaming like dark stars against the void. Their weapons unleashed torrents of destruction.
But Earth did not bow. Its surface erupted in defiance. Missiles shrieked through the sky, plasma cannons
roared, and the ground quaked with the resolve of its defenders. The battle was chaos. The Zelans expected a swift victory,
but they found themselves mired in an endless struggle. The humans fought with ferocity unmatched, their tactics unpredictable, their courage unfathomable. The
Zelans, who had conquered countless worlds, began to falter. In the midst of the carnage stood Captain Elias Ward, his uniform tattered, his face smudged with soot, his eyes burned with a fire that no alien could extinguish. His voice carried across the battlefield, rallying soldiers and civilians alike. We are humanity, he bellowed. We are not afraid of the darkness. We are the fire that burns against it. The Zelan High Commander watched from the safety of his flagship, his confidence eroding with each passing hour. What are these creatures, he muttered to himself. Are they mad? Do they not understand the futility of resistance? In the heart of the battlefield, a Zelan soldier
confronted Captain Ward. The alien towered over the human, its claws
gleaming, its voice a guttural growl. Surrender, human, it commanded. Your struggle is meaningless. Ward stood his ground, his body weary, but his spirit
unbroken. He raised his weapon, his voice calm yet unyielding. We do not surrender, we do not break.
The Zelan lunged, but Ward was faster. A single shot rang out. The alien fell, its body
lifeless. The humans around Ward cheered, their voices rising above the chaos. The Zelan forces
faltered, their morale shattered by the relentless resolve of their enemies.
In orbit, the High Commander gave the order retreat, his voice heavy with defeat. As the Zelan fleet withdrew, the humans did not pursue. They stood together, blooded but victorious, their eyes turned to the stars, their message clear. We are humanity, we do not seek war, but we do not fear it. We are the storm, the light.
In the darkness, the unyielding force that will never be broken.
And so the galaxy learned a lesson that day, a lesson
carried on the winds of legend. Humanity was not just another race in the cosmic tapestry. They were a force of nature a testament to the power of resolve and the strength of the human spirit.
As the Zelan Dominion retreated licking its wounds, the intergalactic concordium of unity watched in awe and fear, for they had witnessed the birth of a legend, the rise of a species that defied all other species that would shape the fate of the galaxy. Humanity stood tall, its people united by the fires of struggle,
And the bond of survival, their blue planet a beacon of hope, and defiance a testament to what it meant to be human. And in the silence that followed the echoes of their resolve, rang across the stars unbroken, unyielding, unforgettable.
as the smoke of battle cleared and Earth's skies returned to a fragile peace, the people of the blue planet did not celebrate as victors of a war might.
Instead, they mourned for the lives lost and the scars left upon their world. They
Knew this victory was not an end, but a beginning, a declaration not just to the Zelan Dominion,
but to the entire galaxy, that humanity was ready to stand tall in the face of any threat. In the halls of the United Nations, now transformed
into a true global command center, leaders from every corner of Earth
gathered around a single table, the room was filled with the hum of quiet conversations, tired voices discussing what would come next. General Sarah Curry, one of the architects of Earth's defense,
stood at the head of the room, her uniform pressed.
Despite the battles that had unfolded, she spoke with measured authority. The Zelans will be back, she
said, her voice cutting through the murmur. They don't forgive defeat, and they won't
accept our survival as anything but a challenge. Across the table, President Okoye of Nigeria nodded solemnly. And it won't just be the Zelans now that the galaxy knows what humanity is capable of. We've painted a target on ourselves. The room fell silent for a moment, but it was Captain Elias Ward standing at the back, his body still wrapped
in bandages, who spoke next, his voice carrying the same fire that had rallied soldiers on the battlefield.
Let them come, he said, his words simple but resonating. We didn't choose this fight, but we showed the galaxy that we don't need to fear it.
His words sparked a murmur of agreement, and the tone of the room began to shift from fear to determination. Beyond Earth, the galaxy buzzed with the tales of humanity. The intergalactic concordium of unity debated endlessly over the implications of Earth's defiance. Some saw humanity as a threat, a primitive
and dangerous race that had no place in their utopian vision. Others saw them as a potential ally, a force of will and ingenuity that could shift the balance of power. In a secret chamber on the Concordium's capital world, a meeting of the High Council
convened, their holographic forms flickering as they debated. Their words carried the weight of empires.
They are reckless, one councillor said. Their primitive nature makes them unpredictable.
Another councillor shook their translucent head. And that is why they are extraordinary. They do not see peace as we do, but they fight for something we have forgotten. Their spirit is not to be dismissed.
The debate stretched on, but no consensus was reached. For humanity
was a wild card in a galaxy that had long sought order.
Back on Earth, humanity began to prepare for the unknown.
The factories that had churned out weapons during the war were not
dismantled, but repurposed. Their technologies refined and expanded. The lessons
learned from the Zelan conflict were studied and integrated.
And the first steps toward humanity's presence among the stars were taken.
Captain Ward, now a symbol of Earth's resolve, stood at the forefront of this new era. He traveled from city to city,
speaking not of war but of unity. His message was clear: humanity must stand as one, for the challenges ahead would demand nothing less. The Zelan Dominion, meanwhile, licked its wounds. The High Commander, disgraced and demoted,
vowed revenge, but even among their ranks whispers of fear spread. The humans had fought them on equal terms with inferior technology. What would happen if they were given time to grow, to evolve?
Decades passed, and the story of Earth's defiance became legend across the galaxy. The phrase, "they are not afraid,"
echoed in the halls of alien academies, in the speeches of politicians,
and in the whispers of soldiers preparing for battle.
Humanity did not seek conquest, but exploration. They reached for the stars.
With the same resolve that had carried them through the fires of war, their ships sailed into the unknown. Their banners carried the symbols of unity and survival. In time, the Zelans did return, but they found not
the fractured and vulnerable world they had attacked before,
but a united and fortified Earth surrounded by allies who had come to respect
and even fear the resilience of this remarkable species. The battles that followed were fierce, but they did not end
in conquest or destruction. Instead, they ended in negotiation. The Zelans
unwilling to suffer another defeat, and humanity eager to build a future beyond the cycle of war.
And so humanity took its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as survivors, not as destroyers. But as builders, their spirit burned bright, a beacon for those who had lost hope, a reminder
That even in the darkest of times resolve and unity could shape the destiny of a species.
In the quiet moments after the last war was fought, Captain Ward, now old and weary,
Stood on the bridge of a starship, gazing out at the endless expanse of stars. His voice carried the same fire as it had decades ago, as he whispered to himself, "We are humanity. We do not fear the void, we embrace it."
and the stars seemed to shine a little brighter,
As if acknowledging the unyielding spirit of the blue planet.
and its people who had proven that they were more than survivors, they were a
Force that even the galaxy itself could not ignore.